Question 5.35. What gauge of aluminum wire will have the same resistance per unit length as 12 gauge copper wire? So here in this question you have two different kinds of wire, one made up of aluminum and the other made up of copper, and they have the same resistance per unit length. And we need to find what gauge of aluminum wire will have the same resistance per unit length as 12 gauge copper wire. So we can write resistance of copper over the length of copper to be equal to resistance of aluminum over the length of aluminum. Resistance R can be written as rho L over A, where rho is the resistivity of the material, A is the area of cross section, and L is the length of the wire. So let's rewrite this expression. R for copper can be written as resistivity of copper into length of copper over length of copper into area of copper equals the same thing for resistance of aluminum, resistivity of aluminum into length of aluminum over area of aluminum into length of aluminum. So rho L over A I got from resistance, and one length was already present in the expression before. Now cancel off the length from here, and then we get resistivity of copper over area of cross section of copper to be equal to resistivity of aluminum over area of cross section of aluminum. Now what gauge of aluminum we need can be found by using the area of cross section. Because the gauge of the wire gives you information about the diameter of the wire and its area of cross section. So if you know the area of cross section of aluminum, you can find what gauge it belongs to. So let's rearrange this to write in terms of area of aluminum. We can cross multiply and rewrite this as area of aluminum to be equal to resistivity of aluminum over resistivity of copper into area of copper. You can also use shift solve in the expression here to calculate area of aluminum. Now resistivity of aluminum and resistivity of copper we can find from the table here. For aluminum, the resistivity is 2.82 times 10 to the power negative 8, and for copper it is 1.72. Whereas area of copper you can find from the gauge table again. We want area of 12 gauge copper wire, so this is the 12 gauge, and its area is 3.3088 millimeters squared. So we are going to substitute these values in the expression here. So we get resistivity of aluminum to be 2.82 times 10 to the power negative 8 over, for copper it is 1.72 times 10 to the power negative 8 times area for 12 gauge copper, which is 3.3088 millimeter squared. We will keep this in millimeter squared for now, as we will receive area of aluminum also in millimeter squared. So this gives me area for aluminum to be equal to 5.42 millimeters squared. After getting this value, now we are going to check in the table to what gauge this value corresponds to. So if you look at the table, we are going to look at the column which has area, and we will try to locate 5.42 there. So 5.42 will lie somewhere between 5.26 and 6.6. So this aluminum wire must be somewhere between 9 and 10. So your answer should be aluminum wire of around 10 to 9 gauge can have the same resistance per unit length as a 12 gauge copper wire.